the whole point of youth empowerment is that, like, even if you're under 18 or it doesn't matter, like, try to step up and try to help the community in some way.
Just do your part as like a human being and contribute to something. Yeah.
So understand, like, don't take everything you have for granted. You might not realize it, but just understand that you can always give back, or always just look at what you have with like a wider lens, and don't just be so focused on where you live. Be more focused on your whole community around you.
Some stories begin small. A meal shared between friends, a family. But when young people start something with intention, that small thing becomes a heartbeat for the city. Welcome to Heart Talk in the City, where every city has a heartbeat and every heart has a story, where stories heal and hearts connect. Welcome back, friends. Today, our light is on Serving Handz, a youth group that started a charity organization. It started as something small, but it has grown into something big. I heard about this through Brian, and I checked out your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, and I was honestly impressed, inspired to see young people start something like this. Something which in this day and age people are so self-centered, but you guys are selfless, and we had to have this. We had to let our community know that this is going on. Yes, so joining me today are Ashwin, Vice President of Finance, Ayush, the Chapter President, and Anagh, the Vice President of Development. And I'll let them self-introduce and tell us a little bit about themselves.
Well, I'm Anagh, the VP of Development at Serving Handz, and I'm a senior at Mountain House. I don't know, my favorite things to do is work out, eat food, and video edit.
Yeah. So, hello, my name is Ashwin, and I'm a senior at Mount House High School, and my position in this Serving Handz is the VP of Finance, so I handle all the financial information for the club and legal information for the club. And some things that I like to do, like outside of this, are like play basketball, play sports, watch sports.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ayush Deshpande. I'm a junior at Mount House High School, and I'm the chapter president of Serving Handz. And outside of school, I like to hang out with my friends, play basketball, go for runs, and work out.
Okay, that's good to hear about a little bit about your personal lives, guys. So let's start at the beginning, the origin. How did this start? What inspired you? Maybe we could start with Anagh.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, as we wrote in the article, most of this started because we're all from like the Bay, right? We've all been to San Francisco. We've seen places where there's just so many unhoused individuals, right? And seeing that kind of like, even as a kid, you can kind of feel like it's a little sad, it's a little tragic. So I guess it was just one way that we wanted to make a difference, right, in our community. Whether it be small, difference is still going to be difference, right? It doesn't matter the scalability. So I guess it was something along those lines. Yeah.
So like how it like originally started is like we had like there's like a place in Tracy where they're kind of like a religious organization, and they like to like donate like food to like homeless people as like an act of like goodwill. And one time they just asked us like our Harish, our like president, like he has some like connections with them, and it was like, oh, we should maybe make some like meals and try to help these people. And like on the first event, like it wasn't even an event, it was just like a couple of friends getting together, and we were like, oh, let's just make a couple meals and help them out. Like that's how it like first started.
So I joined the club my freshman year because they are a grade older than me. And what really drew me to Serving Handz was how they grew over time. Mm-hmm. So their growth, starting from their 7-person friend group up to now having like multiple members by the time I was a freshman in high school, really drew me to that club. And also my exposure to seeing homelessness at a young age. Like my parents, they've always been big on giving back, and they've been involved with multiple temples and other religious organizations that emphasize giving back. So I wanted to do my role in the community and sort of help the lesser fortunate out.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has really come so far. So when did you realize that this was going to be not just a small idea, but something that is going to help an entire community and probably beyond just the local community?
I mean, if we're being honest, I don't think any of us really had an idea how far this would really scale to. That was the funny part. We just kept like improving. Like, me and Harish and all of us, we talked together. We're like, yo, how can we make this bigger? How can we expand the people we help, right?
Mm.
So I don't really think we ever had a set idea on how to make this big. We just kind of did it, and then our influence started growing, as you saw on our social media. We reached a lot of people. We got some connections. So I'd say I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Like something that's like it's sort of like unexpected, like how like this developed. Like first, like when we started off, we maybe started off with like 100 meals. After that, like small event we did in the beginning, we did like 100 meals, and we were like, oh, like 100 meals could be helpful to some people, but like why don't we make this bigger? And the more we talked to people, the more we found members. They were like very, they just wanted to do it, and also we gave out like volunteer hours. And people wanted to get like high schoolers wanted to get like volunteer hours, so they were like willing to help out. And like by like a certain time, like we had like some 40 people in our thing, 7 to 40. It just like expanded so fast, and we were like, oh, with this amount of people, like we can give out more meals, and it just kept on growing and growing, just like that.
Okay. And from a finance perspective, did it worry you?
I mean, like as from a finance perspective, like as the number of people grew, and as like that means we needed to make more meals and like get more resources. So that means we need to figure out different ways to make money. And we were able to set up like many people were like willing to donate. Like so many people, like parents around Mount House, they were just willing to donate. Like I like a big shout out to them because they were like really like willing to help us in the beginning. That's what like kind of kickstarted our entire thing.
Yeah, so like Ashwin said, I think the need for volunteer hours for a lot of these high schoolers, combined with doing something good and making a difference, really like drove a lot of our volunteers to come to us, and what helped them expand from like a 7-person operation to what it is today. I mean, that's what happened to me too. I was just a freshman in high school when I heard about them, and then I knew that they were doing so much good, and I wanted to be more involved. So that's what also drove me to working with them. And then speaking on the side of getting donations and contributions, that is a really good point. The parents that have helped us out, like obviously our families, and then also parents across Mountain House, where we've gone door to door, they've given us a lot of funding, they've given us a lot of help, they've given us resources, and we just want to shout them out one more time, just for helping us through our journey.
Absolutely. Thank you, parents. Thank you for making this bigger. And what made you, when you stepped into those roles, finance, development, and also your role, did you think, oh, we're stepping into these big shoes? What inspired you to step into those individual roles of yours?
I think it's more of like our individual skill set. I mean, I was good with a lot of the creative stuff, so I could like jumpstart the development of the club, make it reach more people, things of that nature.
Yeah, and like speaking on that subject, like it wasn't sort of like we were like extremely pressured to like step into these roles. What it was is like at the beginning we would all sort of choose our roles like what we feel we're like individually good at. We would choose those roles, and now we're at like a very small amount of people. We're like, and then we sort of step into that role as it grows larger and larger, and then we're like ready for like the bigger stepping stone.
I think for me, it's learning based off of their experiences and applying my own unique take on that. Because obviously after they graduate, I need to keep this going in the Mountain House sphere, and then they can carry it on along with my help in college and beyond, and however larger it scales to in the following years.
Yes, that's a good idea, planning ahead, you need, because they'll probably go to other universities outside of the state, so this movement needs to keep going. It's good that you plan ahead. Okay, so what were your earliest challenges as students trying to build something from the ground?
I mean, our early strategies. I think it came from mostly talking to people, getting to know a lot of connections early on.
Mhm.
Um, our president Harish, he had some good connections with Mayor Andy Sue, right?
Yeah.
So he talked a lot with Mayor Andy Sue, and of course we got I think some help from that direction as well. So I'd say it's definitely connections.
Okay.
Like a way that what we felt is it's mainly like how he said it's like how we develop connections and as like a youth and like especially in our freshman and sophomore years like we don't have as much as a workload as our junior and senior years so like
Mm.
since we like started this club very early like we were able to like sort of manage our time properly and everything was sort of set up by like our third year in high school like a lot of things would just kind of occur by themselves because it was like strategically planned everything was organized properly.
Yeah, I think our biggest strength when it comes to just managing events now compared to like they're saying like their freshman and sophomore year is our planning.
Mhm.
So we have a strict format on like we need an event this many months in advance or like we plan out a couple months in advance. So there's nothing like that's gonna be taken by surprise or there's nothing that's gonna catch us like off guard
Mhm.
that you would say unless it's an emergency.
Mhm.
But I think our improvement in planning really has like helped us scale to such new heights over the past couple years.
Okay, so it has helped in you become better planners,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm sure it also it goes into your studies because you need to work around this whole situation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So how does your age, your teens, how does it? Is that an obstacle in? Does it empower you? Do you feel less empowered or more empowered?
I'd say there's trade-offs to it. If you're a kid, then people will often take sympathy towards you, but they will also maybe sometimes treat you with, oh, like they won't take you as seriously maybe because you're a kid, and they might just look at the organization because it's being run by a child. They might not understand the impact of the organization, and they might just see like, oh, it's just a kid doing something maybe because his parents told him to, or maybe he needs it for school, something like that. So I think there are good and bad side to it, but that's a learning experience, and I think we've tackled that challenge head on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, adding on to that, it's like the way it works is that like as a youth or something like you don't have enough credibility as like an adult, so like you would have to do a little more extra to actually gain attention, and compared to adults where they kind of have already a little more like, credibility compared to like because we're under 18 and like we have like we're children, so yeah.
So some people probably thought maybe it's a hobby, they'll forget about it at some point.
Yeah.
But you've proved everybody wrong. I mean, what you're doing is really impressive. Okay, so how do you handle any disagreements?
I think
Or setbacks?
we're very much of a democratic group. We've always taken votings. If there's ever like some sort of disagreement in the chat, I don't know. Rarely we ever have disagreements, but if there is, like, I feel like all of us communicate it thoroughly. Like we all have like one group chat where we discuss anything related to Serving Handz and event plans, right? So there's a lot of thorough discussion that goes into it. So I mean, even if we do, there's always the group votings that we have, right? So majority rules.
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And that also goes to scheduling and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
like disagreements are like sometimes not in the form of like how people think like
Mhm.
different ideas. It's like sometimes um, like what needs to be done next, and based on like what needs to be done next, in the sense that like one person might say like this might be a better idea, and this might be a better idea, and like he said like a group voting would settle it all.
mhm.
And then adding further to his point, if we have an event scheduled and, for example, like 2 or 3 officers who are supposed to be there have an emergency show, like pop up and they can't make it, because we're so, I'd say, democratic and the roles are not so clear cut, a lot of people can do a lot of other things. A lot of our officers oftentimes step up and take responsibility when others cannot. So that really helps us be more flexible if we have challenges on like the day of an event or with something going wrong, something like that. So I think that's what really like has helped us like strengthen ourselves as this organization's continue to grow.
But I guess it's clear cut. I mean, this is Serving Handz. It's to help those who are disadvantaged. It's not like a group where you're going to come up with different ideas each and every other time. So it's clear cut, and everybody knows this has to be done, and everybody knows their roles. So that helps. Yeah. Okay. So what leadership lessons has this taught you?
That's a good question. Ayush, do you have any?
Yeah, I'd say it involves a lot of clear communication. And what I've learned in my year and a half of like organizing my own team and running everything at MHHS has been you really need to be open to disagreements. Don't expect your way to always be right, and really be understanding that you can be wrong and you need to learn from that, because there are numerous times where I've messed up and I've gotten feedback from them, I've gotten feedback from our other seniors, I've gotten feedback from the rest of my officers, and that's helped me like become a better leader, and then also help lead our group to conduct stronger events and be more successful over time. So I'd say the biggest thing is just being open to change and just understanding that this is like a group effort. It's not like you are like the one person leading it.
Yeah, another thing is like a big thing like that we learned from this is like trust and teamwork. Because as you said before, like let's just say some of our members can't make an event. Some of our like members will take over for their roles, and like let's say one person like does something wrong, like another person will come up and help up and like step up for them. So it's just like trust and like teamwork and working together. Because if we're all not working as like one team, like a lot of these events will happen. Like we had like a huge event like recently where we did like 1,500 meals. It was like with like some 50, 60 members or 100 members. It's a hard and big event to do, and if we're all not together in like one page, like some of these events would just never be happening.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree. So no peer pressure to do other things. Okay, that's quite impressive. Okay, so your mission is to support homeless individuals and underserved communities through compassionate service, essential resources, and youth-led initiatives that foster dignity, respect, and positive change, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what part of this mission speaks to each of you personally?
I'd say the part of the mission that speaks to me the most is really focusing on that giving back part. Like I feel like the most human thing you can do is to give back to someone who needs it the most. So yeah, that speaks to me the most.
Something that's like the most like that like the most like touching my heart is like when you give food to like a homeless person and they're like they say God bless you and you're like, oh, like this it's like a real connection between like you and that person you've never seen before, and just because you gave them a food or a meal, now that they're like extremely happy that they see you. So
for me, I think it's been like you said, seeing the positive like reaction in someone's face when you're helping them out, and when you realize like, wow, I actually did something today that made a difference in somebody else's day or their life or their week, right? Like that moment is what I think Serving Handz means to me the most. So that's what impacted me.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I guess, when we reach out to give to somebody, it really adds value. You feel there's that sense of fulfillment in your heart, like I've done something good. It's not about you receiving all the time, but when you reach out, and it's more than just that feeling. You actually get blessed, when you open out your hands, more comes back to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be a good Serving Handz member.
I think so. Maybe I will volunteer one of these days. So, why did you choose to focus on underserved and homeless communities at your age?
I think it's just, again, experience with homelessness. Like, if you've ever taken any sort of trip around San Francisco or LA, you see it all around you, and it's like firsthand, right? You can be walking down the street, there'll be a whole row of unhoused people right on the side. So you just start to feel a little uneasy. So just making some sort of impact.
For me, I think it would be not taking what I have for granted, because I'm extremely blessed to be in the position that I am. And I want to obviously give back to those that are maybe less fortunate or don't come from the same circumstances as me. So I think just understanding that I don't deserve this, I was blessed with this opportunity, is the biggest thing that sort of pushed me to join Serving Handz, along with their, size and mission and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would be so much easier to say, you stop by the street and give somebody something and move on, but you took it a notch higher and said, no, this has to be consistent, because these people don't just need one meal. It needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
Yes, and there are more people who get on the street each day. So, yes, so that means a lot. In the beginning, how did you guys manage your resources? They were limited, I know, from what I read. How did you manage that?
So, like, starting off with, like, the resources, like, our biggest thing was, initially was getting enough funding. And with the funding, like, we would go to, like, Costco or Walmart, and we would be able to buy all these supplies for our events. And, like, resources wasn't, like, the biggest problem initially, since we didn't give too many meals, or it was sort of like small events, so, like, we didn't have a bunch of resources necessarily.
So did you prepare them?
Oh yeah. You should
go
see
into the kitchen.
Oh, not even in the kitchen. It's all around the house. So I think one of the earlier events were just in Parisha's house, and there would be a couple tables here and there, and then there'll be 5 people here. It's like a whole supply chain, right? It's a very intricate process that we did. Yeah.
Yes, I saw the pictures on the website.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I thought I'd look out for your moms helping, but no, it was just young men.
No. There's the person who puts the peanut butter, there's a person who puts the jam, and then you have the counter, and then,
the whole production line.
Yeah, the whole production line.
It's like how a factory works. Like, we would all be working in factories.
Oh, wow, you guys are so
everyone's always doing something, so yeah.
Yeah, like they were saying, we have like packing tables at the end. We have like people making the sandwiches. We have people carrying like the trays with the packed sandwiches in the sandwich bags to the people who are packing the sandwiches in the bag. So it sounds complicated. It's really not. It's just to make sure everyone's doing something.
Okay.
And just staying involved.
Okay. So, what does dignity and service mean to young men like you on a personal level and also in this organization?
Well, service, like, in my life, it would just mean giving back to anyone. And that doesn't necessarily mean, like, this is just limited to all of, like, the unhoused people we serve, right? It could be, like, to my mom, right? Just saying, like, even a thank you, that's, like, an act of service, I'm telling her thank you for all the meals you cook, all the things you do for me. So just giving back to anyone or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, respect for me, especially in this club, is that the more, like, you're able to, like, tell people and, like, spread awareness. Our club is not just giving out meals. We're spreading awareness of our club. Like, oh, there's homeless people out there, and anybody can make a change. Like, it's not just adults or people with, like, a lot of, like, power, like, money, or, like, it could be just youth. And, like, that's what, like, respect means to me. It's, like, when you're able to spread awareness, you're able to, like, feel, like, a sense of, like, establishment. So, like, that's a form of stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, the form of respect is always staying true to our mission and staying true to our values, no matter how big we get. And just understanding that whatever adults we talk to, whatever connections we have, we should always be grateful and blessed that we have them. And just treating them with respect, along with everybody that we serve as well. So just, I'd say taking advantage of every opportunity we get, and just understanding that this is not the limit, but we should always keep striving for more.
Yes. And I guess respect for the people you're serving out there, realizing that, you know what, this is a human being just like me. You know, it could be any one of us out there. You know, life could throw us a curveball and say. So we step out there as you serve, this is somebody, because I'm sure you reach out and talk to each one of them.
Yeah.
how are you? You realize this person has a heart, this person
Yeah.
has a family. You know,
Yeah.
it gives you that sense of respect for them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, especially like in this one event when we went to San Jose. So we went to San Jose, right? So like the area itself is like a little sketchy and a little bit like dangerous, right? But the thing is, like, we know there are people like out there that like are good people and like they still want like food in their stomach and they still like have hope for themselves. Like, and like we need to stay cautious as well. So like we were able to like go inside and give some. It was like a sort of like a park area, and we were gonna like give some meals to a couple homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd say one of our more recent events, we donated meals to Tracy Interfaith Ministries, and there was a retired veteran there, and I had the opportunity to talk to him, and that was really like eye opening for me to hear from his experience, and it felt really good for me personally to be able to hand him something that he could use for that day, and I'd say that was like one of those key moments for me. Like that was probably, well, I don't have like favorites, but that would be one of my favorite moments of giving back, I would say, especially to a veteran.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. That's really touching.
Yeah.
You had his story. You told about that.
Yeah, about his situation and the struggles he was facing, and then
Okay. So in your organization and as you go about your work, does it affect your homework, your studies? How do you navigate those situations?
Yeah, at the end of the day, like it is still an activity that takes up a good portion of your time because, especially with our current day events where like we're scaling it up so massively, I think it does take some time, especially for Ayush. Man, he's like running
yeah.
a good portion of like the bigger events these days. So
I mean, junior year is always, difficult for any junior out there, but especially when you're running these like large events with like 50 plus people coming out and you're making like 500 or more meals like per event, it's always, you're gonna have stress on you on the day of, and then you also have to remember, like, as soon as this thing ends, I have school to worry about. Like I have a test to study for, or I don't know, I have a project due like the next day or something. So I'd say because of that, my time management skills have been really good.
Okay.
Yeah, just working with other people and just understanding like I have to put this time out of my day to work on this, and this. So just I guess that helps. Yeah.
So it has helped you guys with your time management, I suppose.
Yeah, like adding on to that, like let's just say like we have like tests or some sort of projects coming up. Like some are like let's say like one of our members have like a test or a project coming up. Like others will be able to cover for them. Like let's just say they have some responsibilities coming up. Others will be able to cover for their responsibility on like that day. That's how we kind of make it work. Like we're easily able to balance like school and the club.
Okay. So how often are these? Do you serve? How often do you go out to take these meals?
So more recently, we've been planning to do one medium to large level event, like 1 to 2 medium to large level events per month. So we've done 2 so far this month, and we're planning to do one more for Christmas, and then maybe one more in the middle of December, but that's not solidified yet.
Okay. Is it weekends or weekday?
It's a weekend event because obviously as students we don't really have much time during weekdays because of school. So we take Saturdays. Saturdays are most of the time the day that we're.
yeah, and if I could add on, I think a good portion of our events there, because we also have other chapters, right? I think you might just be speaking for the Mountain
Just for Mountain House, yeah.
Right? So we have chapters almost all across a good portion of the nation. We have a lot of chapters established. So those chapters are also doing events. So like as an organization, I think we do a couple times per month, like these events.
Yeah, so counting like you said the national, because that went over my head. Counting the national chapters, like we have chapters from Ohio, Washington, obviously in California and Texas. So including all of those, we would get maybe like 5 to 6 events, I'd say, per month, like as a whole. And then our one chapter in India, in Bangalore, they're a little bit less active, obviously, because of the communication, like or time difference, I'd say, between us and them. And they're a lot smaller. So they've done only one major event so far, which is a clothing drive last month.
Okay. So talking about those chapters, how many do you have?
So I can't give you an exact number because I don't remember off the top of my head, but if I had to give an estimate, anywhere from 35 to 40 within the US, and then we have one in the EU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And that all started here in Mountain House? Where was the first chapter?
The headquarters.
Yeah,
headquarters is
this is the headquarters is right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
So yeah, definitely something to be proud about.
It is.
Yeah.
One of these days you'll be calling everybody to headquarters.
Yeah,
Tying them down there.
we can get all of the chapter presidents to come over here, maybe have some lunch or dinner.
Yes, that would be nice. That would be nice. So, do your peers, your teachers, do they realize the scale of what you're doing? Do your teachers know about this? Do they realize the scale of this?
I don't think our teachers realize because we don't take a lot of involvement like from the school. We've never had to rent the school out as a venue, so I don't think many teachers know about this. But across like all grade levels at Mountain High School, everybody knows what Serving Handz is. This is probably at least definitely for them, like their proudest moment where it went from something where it was just their friend group to everyone across I think there's 2,000 or 2,200 kids in our school. Majority of them know what Serving Handz is, so I think that's something we need to be proud about.
Yeah. So if the teachers don't know, the students definitely do.
Okay, maybe. Don't you think you should tell your teachers and the administration?
Yeah. I feel like they understand what we've done in Mount House, but they don't understand our full expansion of what we've done, like how we spread out the chapters, the full extent of our.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what keeps you motivated on days when I'm sure there are days that things don't go exactly the way they should? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest motivation is just to spend time with everyone. You know, it's a fun day, obviously, because it's very funny when someone doesn't know how to put a PBJ sandwich on, right? Or things like that, right? So those moments, that's what motivates me, you know? I'd say that.
Yeah. As you said, we're all friends. All the officers are friends. So every time when we go to do an event, it's almost like a hangout.
Really?
Everything just feels natural. How we organize ourselves. So it's just natural.
Yeah, so I'd say even when things aren't going well, you can always have some humor with it because we are all friends, but then we're also doing something that's beneficial to other people. So it's a productive hangout, if you like to think of it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so does this, what you're doing here, does it spread into your back home? I mean, in your families, helping around the house and things like that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
your skills.
Since Serving Handz, I've definitely helped my mom a little bit more. Yeah.
If you ask my parents, they might say no, but I think maybe yes.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, but that's up for them. That's up for their interpretation.
Okay. So how has this work influenced your goals, your future goals, for college, for careers? I'm sure it has sort of shifted your perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
Please share with the audience.
I'll definitely say, if you've seen the growth of Serving Handz, it truly shows you that quite literally anything is possible, right? Don't set a limit on how high you can reach. Shoot for the moon always.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's I've heard a lot of people say it's not about what you achieve at the end goal. It's sort of the process where you get there. You gotta like the process and enjoy the process to get where you want.
Yeah, like they both said, obviously aim as high as you can, but then also enjoy the journey. So then you actually end up where you want to be. But then I think more specifically for me, Serving Handz has taught me how other people think, maybe to put myself in another person's shoes and understand what they're going through. Because if I'm in a job maybe 10, 15 years from now and I'm talking to my colleague or my boss, then it's important for me to understand where they're coming from and then what my position is. So then I'm not maybe rude or unprofessional. And then that just helps me be better at my job, I guess, in the future. So it's always just sort of helped me think from someone else's perspective.
Okay, so let's talk about leadership.
Yeah.
Tell us about your leadership voices in the different roles you have, and generally, how do you view leadership?
Well, I mean, as the person running the development, I've definitely had to put a lot of leadership to work because I technically manage two other people under my role. So I have to constantly like get them to agree with each other and have all of us agree as a group on like what to do, especially if it's like some sort of design or something for like the Instagram, you know, whatever it may be. I definitely have to put some leadership skills to work to get everyone in my group to, you know, do it.
Like how like I show leadership and like Serving Handz is like since I'm the VP of finance, I sort of also take care of like the legal side of the club as well. So like recently I applied for 501c and our Serving Handz has become like that's that like a nonprofit that's registered in the state. So and like also handling the finance is like leading donation teams, like how we fundraise for certain events. Because like before an event, we need to reach a certain like money goal, and like to hit that, like I need to lead a team to be able to get that amount of money.
Okay.
I think for me, it's managing the entire MHHS officer team. So I have 9 people working under me / with me. It's all collaborative. And I can suggest an event idea. They can agree, disagree. We need to find a middle ground. So I think my leadership is finding that middle ground with them, making sure they do their work, whatever I assign to them, making sure everything is tracked properly, making sure we have enough money for an event. Telling people what to do if we are lacking in a certain department for an event. And then on the day of the event, actually instructing all the volunteers, getting there early, helping set up stuff, staying back late, cleaning everything up. So it's a lot, but it's a really, really rewarding process from my experience in the last, I started in January. So the last 10 months or so. Yeah.
Okay. Has it helped you realize any other skills that you might have that you didn't know you had?
Okay. I think I found my voice. I would say I never thought of myself as a really not good. I'd say as like a loud public speaker, but I've had to really use my voice a lot of times to help manage like this room of 60 people who maybe don't know what they're doing or they're disorganized. And I think events like that have really helped me find like make quick second decisions when something goes wrong or when somebody messes up or behind schedule, right? Like a venue could, like our reservation for a venue could end in like 15 minutes and we still have all these resources left. What do we do? So making decisions like that in real time, I think that's what really helped me in these events.
Yeah.
Any other skills? Soft skills or anything?
Yeah, definitely becoming more social. Like I can tell you firsthand from like my experience alone that when I joined Serving Handz, I was a little bit more reserved, right? And by meeting all these new people and like constantly interacting with others during the event, you really become more sociable and approachable to other people. So, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to say anything?
Adding on to like what he said, like I feel like it's like critical thinking and like quick thinking in certain situations, like especially during an event. When an event runs, like we don't play our positions anymore. At that point, like we're all like conducting the event. So so let's just say there's a problem with the amount of like supplies we have. Let's say we're low on supplies. Like we have to like quickly take a break and kind of like regroup and figure out like what needs to be made, like what changes need to be made, like how many like meals are we gonna reach, and like so because we're low on supplies, so we have to make like quick decisions. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So do you think leadership came naturally to each one of you? Is it something you had to harness?
I think for me personally, I think leadership is something that was kind of like I had to learn it or had to apply it. Otherwise, this was not going to work at all. So if I wasn't as confident, I definitely was not as confident as a leader as I was before I joined this organization. But through these experiences, learning experiences from them and our senior officer team, they really taught me how to step up properly and, you know, play my role to like a good level so I can lead the next group of officers after they graduate and also run events like outside of campus.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say some people are just natural born leaders. I unfortunately was not one of them. So it was something I had to develop along the road. But yeah, I'd say you can definitely develop it. It's something that could be a byproduct of your environment, or if you're lucky, you're just a natural leader.
It's like I don't think like almost like I don't think any of us started off as like really good leaders, like because like when we started off we didn't have like like real roles. Like it was just like, oh, we're working together, we're doing something. But then as it goes on, like we're able to lead certain events. Like as like the president, he's able to easily conduct events now, and like me, like I'm able to like create a way to figure out how to get beneficially like more money, and he's able to like figure out like the design and how to get more outreach to the public. So I feel like it's just a stepping stone for all of us as we grow.
What advice would you give to young people like you, girls, boys, when it comes to leadership and serving? What advice would you give?
I think the biggest thing is don't be afraid, because even if you think you're not a leader, everyone at the end of the day has leadership qualities. You just need to find them. So if you have that self-confidence, like I can do this and I can trust those around me to help me do this, then that really allows you to step up and be a leader in those like dire situations where you need to make like a quick decision or when something goes wrong.
Yeah, I'd say definitely put yourself out there. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself, right? For example, on this podcast, if we had not reached out initially, we wouldn't have even been here, and no one would have heard of our story, right? So just throw yourself out there. It doesn't matter what happens, just do it.
And like a big thing is like you should like not be worried about change, or and you should always like try new things, because like initially if we rejected the offer of like let's go create some meals and just help out the homeless just one day, like as a group together, like we wouldn't have gotten this far, and like we'd have been doing something else right now. And like just try new things is like what I would say to like the youth.
Yeah, I think confidence is very important. Confidence, being flexible, not being rigid, and because in a situation like this in your organization, at the beginning things are not carved out in stone. You know, there are adjustments here and there. Okay, that's really great. So I would like to know about anything that has affected you emotionally during this whole journey. You felt like throwing in the towel, you know, how has it impacted you, or your most meaningful emotional moment?
I think emotionally, it's always just like the stress, maybe the day before, like the week before an event. Sort of just knowing that you have like the expectation on you to get this right, because there are other people relying on you. Obviously, like those who are underserved and those who are underprivileged, like they need this event to go well so that they can eat that day. So that pressure is always in the back of my mind. Especially like nowadays when I've gotten more comfortable, that pressure is still there, and I always like hold myself to a high degree of accountability. So I always want to make sure that everything goes right to the best of my ability that I can do. So I never want to leave like any effort off the table. I want to put everything that I can.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest, there was a specific moment last year where we had to prepare a report about Serving Handz for a competition, right? And we were, like my team and I, consisting of Harish and another member, we were working all day and night to meet the deadline, right? And at certain times, it's almost like 4 a.m., right? We're all on call, and we're like, bro, do we continue writing or do we just go to sleep and work on it later? Like those moments, you really feel like throwing the towel in and giving up. But it's important that you stick through it. It'll all work out in the end.
I mean, like emotionally speaking, like the biggest thing that would like affect any of us is like knowing that there are like many homeless people out there that just don't have food, or just don't have like enough resources to like live properly. And like that just kind of like motivates us to keep going. And like even as you said, like the pressure to like meet up to an event, it just like sometimes you feel like it's like a big task, but at the end of the day we know why we're doing it, so we just keep it going.
Yes, your why is very, very important. We all start things, but when you go back to your why, that keeps you going. Yes, you talked about a competition.
Oh,
What was
yeah. I'll talk more on that. So there's this club at our school called DECA. I'm not sure if you guys you've heard of it. Yeah. So our our event was community giving project, right? And for that event, Harish and I and another teammate, we had 2 weeks to prepare our entire written report, and we somehow did it. And at states, we placed first. So like, I guess we were recognized first place out of all of the community giving projects within California. And then later on at internationals, we placed top 20 out of like 200 plus teams. So we've also represented Serving Handz internationally, technically, but it was a crazy process, and I loved doing the parts for Serving Handz. So yeah.
Okay. So when you go for those competitions, because you know this is something that started from your heart.
Yeah.
If you're not, for example, placed first,
Yeah.
usually there is a financial reward or something.
Yeah.
So what happens in a situation whereby you're not placed first and you've submitted, you've put in all your effort, and you're not in that first or in that position where you're going to get that reward. How do you feel?
That's exactly what happened, right? For internationals, I was working so hard. Like my team and I, we were all working so hard. And the funny thing is, I promised my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get this first place at internationals, right? And we did it, but I feel like the best part about that was it didn't feel like a loss. It felt more like, we just had more to learn. There was just more left on the table that we could have done. And at that point, you don't really feel like you've lost, because the true reward was like gaining all of that experience and sharing all those moments with your friends. So, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to share?
So I was not on his team last year when he did that project, but he showed me everything. I heard about all the stories, about all the late night calls, about all the pressure that they had, but they did really put a lot of work into it, and we were all super proud of them for getting top 20 at international.
Like the biggest part is, even if they didn't win, like they were able to like nationally recognize us as like a club. Like if they didn't get first place, second place, it doesn't matter. Like what we've done matters more than like just winning a competition.
Yes, absolutely. Your why matters.
Yeah.
Why you started this.
Yeah.
It's not about the position you get.
Yeah.
And often in life, that's what happens. We're not recognized for so many things, but your why keeps you going to achieve your goals.
Yeah. And something that's very important is that while it was us doing the report and everything, right? These people are like everyone else on the office team. Like we're representing all of those folks as well, right? So it's not just us. We will be representing all of Serving Handz. We were just people to convey that message. So it was the shared efforts of all of our officer team and volunteers and parents and whomever else contributed, So.
Okay. So what has surprised you most about the community's response here and beyond?
I can speak both for Mountain House and for the Bay Area where I've done events. So Mountain House, I was extremely surprised with the outpouring of love and respect that we got, especially because we are all under 18, like we're not adults. But the amount of respect that I've seen adults show kids our age, I was genuinely surprised because I did not expect this at all. And then also in the form of monetary donations. So like Ashwin was talking about before, we received a lot of donations. We set up stalls at the Mountain House Farmers Market on the weekends multiple times. We've gotten hundreds of dollars in donations. We've gone door to door through all the different villages multiple times, and we've gotten hundreds of dollars in donations. And all of that has gone back into our numerous events. So we are extremely grateful and very, very happy to see that like the community where we started from is so helpful to us in our mission. And then back in Bay Area, for those Bay Area chapters, it's almost the same story there as well. Everyone is really, really inspired by our mission and why we're doing what we're doing. And that has like sort of made them give back to our Bay Area chapters and like help them conduct events because they're smaller than us, right? Because we started here.
Okay. So do you think people react differently when they hear, oh, this is student led? Do you think people have
I think when we successfully complete an event and someone hears about it and they say this was run by students, then they get really shocked and they're more appreciative of what we've done. But when we're approaching um, maybe like an organization to book a venue or something, and they're not familiar with our message, and they know that it's being run by kids. If kids are asking for something and you're not familiar with that group, then it makes it harder to get that venue or get that service. So that's why what we've learned is that we all often have to go beyond, like above and beyond what a normal adult would have to do to get that service. But out of all the venues here in Mountain House, we've gotten great respect and great treatment. Like we've gotten Safari Kids for free for our event, so we are very, very grateful for that.
Okay.
So yeah, we've gotten great respect from like our own Mountain House community for sure.
Okay.
I kind of forgot what the original question was. Can you remind me?
Okay, about how do people reacting knowing that these are youth? This is a youth-led group.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think my parents were one of the first people that were kind of shocked at what we did. I think on our earlier events when we said that we made over 100 meals and then donated to Tracy shelters and beyond, right? I think my parents were a little shocked because they were like, how the hell did these kids even manage to do that? You know, they gathered all the supplies, they gathered all the funding, and they delivered all the supplies safely, right? So I think people would definitely be shocked. Yeah.
I feel like people react like differently, like when we complete the event, because like after we complete the event, they realize it's just like a bunch of youth. So that's what pushes them. That's what makes them react so differently. Because like when we complete the event, they're like, "Oh," and then they see the picture. It's a bunch of kids completing like a 2,000 meal event. So I feel like that's what makes them react differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you get feedback from them? Oh, you guys have done great.
Yeah.
Here's $100.
Yeah. I think the main difference is like if they see like an adult organization do that same 2,000 meals thing, then maybe, I can't speak for everybody, but maybe those people reacting to us in a very positive way, they might be neutral towards like a adult group that did that same thing, even though the message is still the same and like the impact is still the same. So I think that's where being like a youth-led group is beneficial, where those who are unfamiliar with us see like the impact that we made and they realize like, oh, we don't have access to as many resources as adults, but we still managed to do something that has made a positive change in our community.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? The next 6 to 12 months? What's your plan?
So we started from, like I said, small meal events, and then we moved into occupying these venues like Safari Kids and Mountain House, and then involving like all the clubs from Mountain House High School and all their volunteers. So that was our second stage, and then now our third stage is going to be working more with colleges. So this Monday we actually did an event with Mustard Seed Project from San Jose State University, which is a great club, and we joint volunteered at Sacred Heart Shelter in San Jose, and we made boxes with $150 worth of resources. So it had bread, onions, turnips, potatoes, cabbages, turkey. So it had everything you would need for a Thanksgiving meal, and we were giving those boxes out to the homeless in the San Jose community. So more events like that where we work with larger level organizations to improve our impact and then also like elevate ourselves. And then the second stage of that would be having more chapter collaboration events. So as you know, there are multiple Serving Handz chapters across the Bay Area, across the United States, obviously. So having an event where our Mountain House chapter collaborates with our chapter from Monte Vista High School or Berkeley High School or Foothill High School, yeah. So having those events where more of our people, I would say, can come together allows us to make a bigger impact and also connect these like distant chapters more, because the driving distance is like 30 minutes, so it's not super often we're going to be able to like talk to them in person.
Okay.
So I think that's our next stage.
And one thing I'd like to add on to that, I think within the next 6 to 12 months, we're definitely going to we've already contacted Berkeley and Stanford. So we've contacted the student-led projects over there, and we're trying to, get some sort of collaboration event. So definitely get some big names soon. Yeah.
And adding on to that, like 12 months from now, we're gonna be in college. So like some of us might run like Serving Handz in college as well as like individuals, like
Yeah.
and like a lot of us are going to be going to the University of California, the UCs. So like a lot of us could be running for like Serving Handz there as well.
Like Serving Handz UC Davis, Serving Handz UC Santa Cruz, Serving
Yeah.
Handz at UC Davis, stuff like that.
Okay, that's good. So
Yeah.
the chapters are still going
Yeah.
to grow.
Let's
Yeah.
keep expanding and expanding.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's if resources were unlimited, what would be your dream project in Serving Handz?
Oh, resources were unlimited. We talked about this last night. I think definitely some sort of like very massive philanthropic event. Like, I'm not sure. I feel like the younger audience would know Mr. Beast and the type of videos he does, but he buys a large amount of like things and gives it out to people in public. So something along the
So like one of like Mr. Beast's events, he built like 100 wells in like a underprivileged side of like an African village, and then he also went on to plant like I think it was 10 million trees. Yeah. He
Mhm.
planted like 10 million trees to combat climate change. So I won't say the exact same event, but events of that scale where we can give back to that many underprivileged people, like that would be completely like, insane. That would be
And like adding on to that, like if we had unlimited resources, like we would target like all the big cities because they have a large unhoused population.
Yeah.
Like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, places like that. Like we could easily, if we had unlimited resources, we would be able to give food to like so many homeless people in those areas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear you'd want to go out into all the continents
Yeah.
as well.
If we had
if
unlimited,
we had if it was
Yeah.
unlimited, yeah.
But if we had unlimited resources, like why would we not expand Serving Hands to other causes? You know,
Mhm.
like climate change or things of that nature.
Mhm.
So unlimited resources, we'd be definitely going to other causes too. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for setting an example for the next generation. And I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot about Serving Handz. Not many people knew about it, but this is going to be a challenge you're setting up for youth.
Yeah.
And even us adults. I mean, what are we doing? We're looking at these young people doing all this. So we also need to step up our game and not just give out a few dollars on the street, but take it a step further like you have done. Yes, we do appreciate. And I would like to have a call to action for all those who are watching. Serving Handz is here to help not just the community to Mountain House, but beyond Mountain House. As you hear, they've got chapters, they want to go global. So reach out to their website. It will be shared below. All their contacts will be within. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
viewers, thank you for joining us on Heart Talk in the City. Thank you. It's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.